If you've watched my videos before, you'll likely know I'm a little obsessed with Art Deco architecture, especially Art Deco skyscrapers. Ranking them has been on my mind for a long time, and I'm excited to finally share my list of the 25 greatest Art Deco skyscrapers in America. Before we dive in, a few quick notes. First, I'll be using the term skyscraper loosely. Some of the high-rises here don't meet the usual 150 meter or 492 foot benchmark for a skyscraper. Second, I've included a few architectural hybrids, as long as Art Deco plays a major role in the design. And finally, this ranking focuses primarily on the building's exterior appearance. With that out of the way, let's get started. Starting off our list at number 25 is the only skyscraper to make this list from my home of Minneapolis, and that is the Fauché Tower. This Art Deco obelisk was modeled after the Washington Monument, but at 447 feet in height is about 110 feet shorter. At the time of its completion in 1929, it was the tallest building between Chicago and the West Coast. Next on our list is one of only a couple West Coast Art Deco high-rises to make this ranking, and that is the Eastern Columbia Building in LA. Although it's only 264 feet in height, its striking turquoise terracotta facade and glowing four-sided clock tower were enough to beat out many taller Art Deco buildings to make it on this ranking. The building was built in 1930 and originally housed a department store, but is now a residential building. We head back to the Midwest for our next Art Deco skyscraper, which is the Power and Light Building in Kansas City. Built in 1931, it was at one point the tallest building west of the Mississippi at 481 feet in height. The tower is topped with a glowing lantern that still shines today. Next up, we have the first of two Motor City Art Deco icons, and that is the Penobscot Building. Completed in 1928, the 47-story Penobscot is the tallest Art Deco building I've mentioned yet, and for a time was the fourth tallest building in the country and the eighth tallest building in the world at 654 feet in height. In the 21st spot on this ranking is the Nebraska State Capitol. I love the look of this building and can remember the first time I saw it in person rising over the plains of Nebraska. Finished in 1932, its soaring 398-foot central tower make it a unique blend of civic architecture and Art Deco skyscraper design. The building is topped with a 19-foot tall statue called the Sower. The next Art Deco skyscraper is another government building, the Los Angeles City Hall. This beautiful building was built in 1928 and stands 454 feet tall. For decades, it was the tallest building in the city of LA and became an enduring Hollywood icon, appearing in many films and TV shows. We head back to Detroit for our 19th best Art Deco skyscraper, the Guardian Building. Nicknamed the Cathedral of Finance, this 1929 masterpiece bursts with color. The 496-foot tall building has been referred to as a vertical rainbow because of its vivid patterns, especially toward the top of the tower. Our next skyscraper is also compared to a cathedral, and that is the Cathedral of Learning in Pittsburgh. At 535 feet, Pittsburgh's Cathedral of Learning is the tallest educational building in the Western Hemisphere. Completed in 1937, its Gothic Deco style give it the presence of both a skyscraper and a medieval cathedral. Beating out the Cathedral of Learning for the 17th spot is the Levesque Tower in Columbus. When it opened in 1927, the Levesque Tower was the fifth tallest building in the world, at 555 feet in height. Its ornate setbacks, white terracotta, and lantern crown make it one of the Midwest's most memorable deco towers and really levels up the Columbus skyline. We head to New York City for the first time on this ranking for our 16th spot on the list, which is the El Dorado. Completed in 1931, the twin-towered El Dorado apartments rise majestically over the west side of Central Park at 346 feet in height. The El Dorado often makes it into the background of movies to establish that the scene is taking place in Central Park. Its bold form and elegant detailing make it one of the most celebrated residential deco designs in Manhattan. We'll stay in New York City for our next Art Deco skyscraper, which is the tallest on our list yet, 20 Exchange Place. At 741 feet tall, it was the world's tallest stone-clad building in 1931 when it was built for the City Bank Farmers Trust. Its dramatic setbacks and vertical emphasis make it one of the most eye-catching buildings in New York's financial district. In the 14th spot on this list, we have the much broader Carew Tower in Cincinnati. Also completed in 1931, the Carew Tower was the tallest building in Cincinnati for over 80 years at 574 feet. Its beautiful Art Deco design, as well as its city-within-a-city mixed-use concept, served as major inspirations for New York's Rockefeller Center. The Carew Tower is much thicker than the previously mentioned 20 Exchange Place, and we continue that trend with our next Art Deco high-rise, Chicago's gargantuan Merchandise Mart. This is another building where I can remember the very first time I saw it because of its sheer size. When it opened in 1930, the Merchandise Mart was the largest building in the world with 4 million square feet in office area, so big it even had its own zip code. Although it's primarily known for its girth, it still stands relatively tall at 344 feet in height, and its Art Deco feature of having recessed vertical windows helped balance out the overall look of the massive building. One thing that it's been known for recently is the Art on the Mart, which is the largest permanent digital projection in the world. We head back to New York City for our 12th best Art Deco high-rise, which is the city's services building, or 70 Pine Street. At 952 feet in height, this 1932 tower was one of the tallest buildings in the world at the time of its completion. The lighter colors at the top of the skyscraper give it the look of a snow-capped mountain. For our 11th spot on this ranking, we have the General Electric building, which is just up Manhattan in Midtown. It's 643 feet tall, but the thing that really elevates the General Electric building over the others I've mentioned is its ornate crown, which is meant to symbolize radio waves. The first Art Deco skyscraper in our top 10 is Chicago's Mather Tower. With the smallest square footage per floor of any Chicago skyscraper, it's like a historic Art Deco version of New York's new skinny skyscrapers on Billionaires Row. It only stands 519 feet, but its needle-like profile make it one of the most distinctive skyscrapers along the Chicago River. Next up, we have one of the most iconic buildings on Times Square, the Paramount Building. I love the look of this building, and originally had it even higher on my list. Completed in 1927, the Paramount Building is topped with a 4-faced clock and glass globe, echoing the glamour of the movie palace it was built to house. We stay in New York City for our next Art Deco icon, the American Radiator Building. This 1924 landmark was one of the first and most influential Art Deco skyscrapers. In fact, the architect, Raymond Hood, had previously been the architect of Chicago's Gothic Tribune Tower, but was inspired by the second-place entry for that tower made by a Finnish architect, L.A.L. Saarinen. That skyscraper concept influenced Hood to design the American Radiator Building in a similar style, which led to more people adopting what we now refer to as Art Deco concepts. The American Radiator Building's black brick facade and gold accents was intended to evoke coal and fire, a literal representation of the company's product. We head to upstate New York for the 7th spot on this list, the Buffalo City Hall. At 378 feet, Buffalo City Hall is one of the largest and most impressive municipal buildings in America. Opened in 1931, its bold vertical lines, colorful crown, and imposing frame make it one of the best Art Deco skyscrapers in the country. Another broad, imposing Art Deco skyscraper is the Chicago Board of Trade. Dominating LaSalle Street since 1930, the Board of Trade Tower is crowned by a large statue of the Roman goddess Ceres. It was at one point Chicago's tallest skyscraper, at 605 feet, and housed the world's largest commodities exchange. Its streamlined setbacks and limestone cladding give it a commanding presence when looking down LaSalle Street. The 5th best Art Deco skyscraper in America is the Manhattan Company Building, or 40 Wall Street. It's one of the most eye-catching buildings in downtown because of its height and large green roof. The tower briefly held the title of the world's tallest building in 1929 at a height of 927 feet. Its race to the sky with the Chrysler Building is one of the most famous chapters in skyscraper history. The next skyscraper on this list is the last skyscraper not located in New York City, and that is the Carbide and Carbon Building in Chicago. We visited Chicago last year, and I couldn't take my eyes off this beautiful Art Deco skyscraper. With its dark green terracotta facade and gold leaf accents, this 1929 tower looks like a champagne bottle rising into the sky. I realize at a height of only 503 feet, it may be controversial ranking it this high, but I just think it's the most glamorous and stunning building of any I've mentioned thus far on this list. We head back to New York City for good to finish off this ranking. At number 3, we have the iconic 30 Rockefeller Plaza, or 30 Rock. It was also designed by the aforementioned Raymond Hood. The building was completed in 1933 and stands 850 feet tall. Although it lacks a beautiful crown like some of the other buildings I've mentioned, its size, clean vertical lines, and terraces make it one of the greatest Art Deco skyscrapers in the world. The top 2 skyscrapers on this list are truly in a league of their own, and ultimately I decided to put the Empire State Building in the 2nd spot on this ranking. Perhaps the most famous skyscraper ever built, the Empire State Building was completed in 1931 in just 410 days, a staggering achievement during the Depression. At 1,250 feet, it reigned as the world's tallest building for nearly 40 years. It's been featured in countless movies and TV shows and is the most iconic skyscraper in the world. However, the ultimate Art Deco skyscraper to me is the Chrysler Building. Its stainless steel spire, sunburst motifs, and automobile-inspired gargoyles make it the symbol of the Jazz Age and one of the greatest architectural works ever built. It's long been one of my favorite buildings in the world. It was completed in 1930 when its secret spire was famously raised up through the top stories to give the building the title of being the tallest in the world at 1,046 feet. Well, that does it for my video ranking the top Art Deco skyscrapers in America. Let me know in the comments how your list would have been different from mine, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.